Hello everyone, here is Mr. Sandeep Kurkuti, an assistant professor, Department of English. Here in this video lecture, I am going to teach you a beautiful poem. The name of the poem is Where the Mind is Without Fear. This poem is written by Rabindranath Tagore, who is one of the greatest poets of our country, that is India. Let us see a little about the poet. Rabindranath Tagore is basically from West Bengal, and he wrote in two languages, and that's why he is called as a bilingual poet. Actually, by taking his contribution toward literature into consideration, he was conferred upon Nobel Prize. He wrote the classic work Gitanjali, which contains more than 100 poems. And the poem that we are going to study today has been taken from the same anthology. And at first, we will go through the text of this particular poem, and then I will try to interpret the poem. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee into ever-widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. So, this poem is actually a prayer. It is in the form of address. It has been addressed to the God, where the poet is requesting to the God that how his country should be in the times to come. Actually, this particular poem was written under the British rule, and that's why he visualizes his country to be an ideal one. And in the very first stanza of the poem, he says that where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, every individual in this country should live with dignity. There should not be any kind of restriction upon him. The poet prays to God, requesting that his nation should be free of persecution and that each individual be allowed to raise his head high. There should be no dread in the environment. The country should be a place where information is accessible to everyone, regardless of caste, gender, or religion, and is provided free of charge. That means the knowledge should be free, and it should reach out to the last section of society. And no discriminations should be made on the basis of gender, caste, class, and color, and whatnot. Because India is a country which is known as a unity in diversity, because the people living in our country belongs to different caste, color, creed, and religions. So there should be unity in such diversity. Then the poet says, where words come out from the depth of truth, the truth should prevail everywhere. Otherwise, the people involved in malpractices and misappropriating their power and all these things. So the people should be free from all kinds of things. Everyone is urged to work relentlessly until they achieve complete satisfaction and excellence in achieving their goals. Everybody has right to pursue their goals, and they should be allowed to do that. The platforms for such things should be created And this is what Rabindranath Tagore has tried to focus on here. Where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way into the dreary desert sand and dead habit. This line is very important because rational and critical thinking is very crucial for the development of any individual or society. Here, most of the people, as far as our country is concerned, are very innocent when it comes to religion and all the things. That means they tend to believe in blind beliefs and superstitious things without making use of their reason, without making use of their rationality, without making use of their critical thinking. So they should try to make their reason and logic while interpreting anything, because this is very common phenomena, um, which is found in the people of our country, that they are easily fooled. That means they easily believe whatever they are um, told to believe in. And so, without believing in anything, they must cultivate in themselves the logic, reason, and rationality. Then only he can take the proper decision. This is the gist that Tagore has to focus here. The poet prays to God for Indians to think and behave in a rational and progressive manner. He wants the power of reason to rule his country's main thoughts. He doesn't want the stream of reason to be lost in the shuffle of old rituals and traditions. Traditions are, of course, important, but at the same time, we must be progressive in our mindset. Whatever legacy we got from our previous generation is definitely important, but at the same time, we must also believe in progressive thinking. Progressive thinking means today science has made stupendous progress and advancement in all walks of life. So we must adopt and inculcate in us the scientific temperament, at the same time sticking to our traditions, beliefs, customs, and all. It should be a country where the light of reason has not been extinguished by mindless superstitious habits of thinking and conduct, where people's minds should not dwell on or be obsessed by their mistakes in the past. They should, on the other hand, be guided by the faculty of thinking to be future oriented by using logical thought and conduct. He wants God to lead the country forward into the freedom of widened thinking and attitude. He asked the Father to awaken his country to such a freedom he won. India would only be able to achieve full independence if she has a worldwide vision and a burning desire to realize great human aspirations. Only in this manner will she be able to fulfill her destiny. Now, what is the dream that Tagore had in his mind about his country? He strongly believes that India will definitely make much more progress in the times to come. In the times to come, only if it accepts the logical thinking and scientific temperament. And every individual should be given a freedom so that he may prosper, so that he may boost his moral to make more progress, and that progress will ultimately contribute to the development of this country. So here says that the person should be kept in liberty, and there should not be any kind of restrictions over him. And in the end, we must see here that in this manner the poet has beautifully visualized his country to be in the times to come. Thank you.